So you've heard about this whole level 0 thing and you want to see this in action of how I've created a system that's both beginner friendly and adds a little bit of extra depth and customization to those little level 1 characters. But we're not level 1 yet, we got to earn it now, so let's get into the system. I made this completely free PDF right here for you guys from the huge response I got from my now #1 video on the channel about what level you should start your campaign at. You can download this PDF for free and the link's down in the description, but right now we're going to walk through, you can have a character sheet with you right now, and I'm going to walk through this thing and you can create a level 0 character right now. In fact, if you're a dungeon master that wants to run level 0, just share this video with your characters and y'all can walk through it, or just play it live at the table. Comment down below if anybody does that. That'd be crazy. To the desk. Level 0 adventures. Let's play your backstory. Check out that art that Scatterbug made. That's literally me with a torch. Apparently, I guess at level 0. This one page is the step-by-step process to build your level 0 character and then take your level 0 character to level 1 once you earn it. In the spirit of 5e, I made this as simple as possible to create a level 0 character with the step-by-step process and then level that same character up to level 1. So I guess technically this would be a level 0.5 character. So level 0 is before birth. Anyway, first thing is you got to roll up those attribute scores. There's a ton of different ways to do this. You can do standard array, point by, roll for stats, whatever you want to do. But my personal dungeon coach method, I have a link for the video right there, and I'll put a link for the channel down in the description as well for how I personally do it. I think it's the best way. But no matter what, you got to get your stats for your character and fill out those 6 attributes. Then of course you got to pick what race you are and choose your traits. You can do this to a brand new Tasha's Cauldron of Everything method, or you can stick to the rules as written and pick a pre-made race for yourself. Or I have this link in here too. I have a full point by feat system. This is a PDF that I gave my patrons, but I now have it on my website. It's a 200 mini feats, and it's a brand new way to create your character from scratch. You can create any race you want. It's a point by feat system. It's right there for you. Link's right there. And I'll put a link down in the description if you want to grab that PDF as well. And that's another cool thing about my system is you get a certain amount of points that you can also reduce the amount of points they get. And when they level up to level 1, you can give them more. And it's another way to scale your race as you level. But anyway, you get your racial traits as you normally would. And then you get your ability modifiers. But you temporarily reduce all of your ability modifiers by 1 while you're at level 0. So normally you get your attribute scores, you have those numbers, and you do the calculation to get the modifiers, because the modifiers are all that really matter anyway. All of those modifiers are just reduced by 1. So if you had a +1, now it's temporarily, while you're at level 0, just reduced down to a +0, and so on for all your other stuff. This is only there while at level 0, and then as soon as you hit level 1, you're going to remove this, so don't freak out. This is just there to symbolize, in a very simple way, a reduction in your overall potential. For hit points now, you roll a d6, and yes, you reroll ones. You don't want to give players 1 health. That would be terrible. And you add your constitution modifier for, again, a minimum of 2. If your constitution modifier is negative, I personally wouldn't add it, but there you go. You can be a mean DM if you want. And your hit dice for any sort of resting that you do is a 1d6. Super simple. And your armor class is the normal armor class in the game, the minimum armor class. You have a 10 plus your dexterity modifier. Super simple. You get no armor proficiencies, but you can have some options there for that in here in just a second. Your proficiency bonus is 2, and you get to select the following. You get 2 skills, 1 saving throw. You get to choose 1 saving throw. Now this might sound weird because you haven't chosen a class yet. And what if the saving throw you choose is, okay, we'll get into that. Don't worry. Calm down. What would make sense for your character to be good at fighting off whenever their back is against the wall? Intelligence saving throw? Strength saving throw? What is it? I don't know. And if you want to do this randomly, you could roll a d6 and see which one of those is the one you get. You get 1 simple weapon. Simple weapon. No martial weapons. Again, you'll see here in a second. And you get 1 tool or language you can choose. Again, you see this is a half of a level 1 character. For starting equipment, don't overthink this part and just give them the bare minimum. They're level 0. They shouldn't have a ton of stuff anyway. And a lot of the cool stuff that you can challenge your players with at level 0 is equipment and stuff. The last thing you get here is what I call a pre-class feat. This thing is awesome. And this for me is really what separates this level 0 and gives some really awesome customization and some really cool things and implications of what this means. You get 2 points here to spend in any of the following ways. And this again gives some more customization to those level 0 characters if people are worried about not having cool enough characters. You can spend 1 point for a single skill proficiency. You can spend a point for a weapon proficiency that you might not normally have. Why in your backstory? You gotta explain it. Why are you proficient in this thing? And this would also give you access to martial weapons too, and a higher weapon dice damage for those martial classes you want to play at level 0. You also can choose proficiency in light armor. So you can you can double down. You could spend 2 points and get 2 skill proficiencies. You could do 1 weapon proficiency and 1 armor if you want to be more up in the combat. Lots of cool stuff. And then this part is my favorite part. You can spend both points if you want to add some spells to that level 0 character. This is the only way you're going to be able to have spells. If you notice throughout this whole thing, there are no spells, but if you are a magic and even at level 0, you have some level of magic. You can spend 2 points to get any cantrip. Any cantrip, or you can spend 2 points to get 1 first level spell slot that you can cast once. You put all that magic into one thing once per day, but what kind of reason? Why are you able to do these things? Why are you able to have this magic? It's a lot of cool reasons that's on you as the player to explain why you've chosen this thing. Another really awesome thing about this is there's some races like high elves and stuff that give you access to cantrips that you normally wouldn't have. So this isn't too crazy broken. Just should have some reason as to why you're able to do these things. And another great thing I love about this is so simple for new players. They have half the amount of things they have to choose from, and after they play the game, especially those new players, after they play the game and get their hands dirty, they can choose some of the other stuff, which is now what we're going to get into when you actually level up to level 1. Timeout. Here's how I make the character creation process really simple when it comes to figuring out what you get from your class and what you get from your background. Sometimes it can get confusing. From your class, of course, you're going to get all your class features. Those are very clearly outlined in your class of what you actually get combat-wise and stuff. But what about your proficiencies and all that kind of stuff? So you get 4 proficiencies when you start off the game in my table. I just tell my players, pick 4. I don't have them from a specific list from your background, a specific list from your class. Just pick 4 proficiencies that make sense for your character, because normally the class gives you 2 starting proficiencies and your background gives you 2 starting proficiencies. So that's just 4. Just pick them, what makes sense for you. Also from your class, you get starting equipment. So whenever I see the class, I just look through, I have them pick whatever weapons they want, and I have them pick some sort of pack that they get and whatever else might make sense for them to have. Don't stress too much about this part, but make sure you write it down so you're not asking later and then when they're already playing. The only other thing you get from your background are 2 tool proficiencies or languages. That means you can do 2 tool proficiencies or choose 2 languages or 1 of each. But really it comes down to, I just tell my players, you have 2 coupons, here's a list of tools, here's a list of languages, pick 2. Super simple, and they just go shopping for it. And the only other thing that the background normally gives you is some cool specific feature. You can see this in the player's handbook about different features that each one gets, like Outlander gets some sort of foraging things around the land for food, but have them talk about whatever their backstory was, and you as the DM has a really cool moment right now to give them some sort of cool little flavor feature that probably doesn't have anything to do with combat, have it have to do more with role play of what cool things are they able to do based on where they came from. Okay, and now this is the smoothest part of this system. You have your level 0 character, you've played with them maybe 1 session, maybe multiple, I don't know, and then now you get to level up to level 1 and take that same character, that same character sheet, and do this very simple process. So now you remove those negative modifiers that we talked about earlier. For all your attribute modifiers, you have a -1 and everything. Take off that -1 from all those attribute modifiers, which is now going to increase everything you're able to do by 1, which is going to feel good and feel now like a level 1 character. And it's that little extra something you get now that you originally would have gotten if you just made a level 1 character like a normal people would be. But then because you started off down here, it feels good to get that back now. So anyway, you replace that starting hit points that you rolled with the 1d6 and all that kind of stuff. You would just straight up replace your starting hit points with your class's normal starting amount. So you just take the hit dice, max it out, add your constitution modifier, super simple. And now that's the things you remove and switch. But now you add on top of your base level 0 character to get to level 1. You get to pick 2 more skill proficiencies. Like I just said, normally a level 1 character has 4 skill proficiencies unless you're talking about stuff from your race. So you had 2 already. Now you get to pick those other 2 to bring you back. And now you get to pick that other 1 tool or language proficiency, which might make a little more sense, and you can make some more accurate decisions based off of you actually already have played that character now. And you get to pick, this part's interesting, you get to pick 1 more saving throw. Now normally your class, if you want to do this rules as written and you lose the saving throw from the other one, and you just get the 2 saving throws from your class, and for some reason you lost the other saving throw you had at level 0, sure. But I don't think this is going to be game breaking. If it makes sense for the character, let them be able to pick what would make sense from those 2 options from their class. So if their class gives them a strength and constitution saving throw that they can choose from, let them pick one of those 2. And if you really want to, you can just have them switch over to the full classes if you want to keep things nice and simple, if that freaks you out too much. But this is some cool customization stuff here. So there's there's your saving throws. And then the last thing, of course, the simplest thing, is you get your class features and proficiencies and everything you normally would get from your level 1 class. I also added some variants in there for a magical ranged attack that you could have for those casters that want to try and be a caster, but they don't want to spend their 1 cantrip on like a firebolt or something. So you just give them an auto attack of like a 1d6 ranged attack, 60-foot range, something really simple, some element of damage. You know, just give them something to be able to play around with this little level 0 character. And they also have like the little baby class features. You can, if they know what class they're going to be, if they know they're going to be a barbarian, give them a mini rage, give them a little rage that lets them do a little something extra, give them advantage on strength check, whatever types of things that let them feel like the baby version of what they're going to be. Then you also have background features. You can include this in there. A lot of, like I said, the stuff you get from backgrounds, that little flavor thing. If you're going to be level 0 for a little bit, or if it's going to have to come to light in this little adventure they're going to run on, give them some cool features from their backgrounds right now, or you can give it to them when they're level 1. And then the last thing is the ruthless level 0. You really want to set this tone for the campaign. You can have this level 0 thing be really scary, and there might be a high chance for their character to die. And then if a character dies in this little level 0 thing, it's almost okay, because then the worst case scenario, that character's dead and gone. Now they just make a level 1 character like they normally would have anyway. So it's a low threshold, and you can really set the tone of a deadly campaign. This was really fun to make for you guys, and I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to pick this PDF up right now for free over on the DM's Guild. But when I say free, I literally mean free. You don't have to pay for this thing. I'm purposely putting it out there for free for you guys. DM's Guild, if you don't know, takes 50% of whatever the content creator made on there, because they have rights that they have to pay, understandably, to Wizards of the Coast. But if you want to pay and you are thankful for what I've made, the biggest thing I want you to do is join my Patreon. You get a free level 0 PDF over on the DM's Guild. You join Patreon, you get another PDF, and I throw in the previous month's PDF for free too. So again, I thank you guys for the support. But I hope you're excited to get into some level 0 action, have some level 0 adventures. Tell me your stories down in the comments. And until next time, stay creative, think outside that box. Peace.